Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. It is April 27th, 2026. Can you believe it? We're already almost into May. That's incredible. Incredible. Welcome to the channel everybody. I hope the day has treated you kindly. Let's go ahead and see what's going on with the story. What's going on with the story? A lot of people don't like the story. And there's not much I can do about that. Nothing. So let's dig into it. Let's check it out. What's going on with the planetary circumstance, Spirit? What do the people need to know about the current affairs? It looks to me like we got some politicians that are trying to step up as though they're, what, source connected and psychic or something. All those people who don't believe in tarot or psychics or prophets or prophetesses in this day and age, they're going to be sucked in by these people. Alrighty then, everybody, let's check it out, check it out, check it out. What's happening in the central energy for the planetary circumstance? What's happening? Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit. We got the Six of Pentacles here. Ooh. Generosity and charity. So there's some generosity and charity for those who have undergone poverty and scarcity, hardship, from the Emperor. So, yes. So it looks like there's some generosity or charity being gifted to people who have been abandoned or have suffered some scarcity and some pretty severe hardship. The Emperor is an authority figure, and he's restoring some form of stability and structure here. For those who had been kept in a, they called it, not poverty, impoverished. People were kept in a state of impoverished living. And so it looks like that's being undone. Balance is being restored. In the challenge position. We've got judgment. So there is some sort of a revelation regarding and clarity regarding all of these women being here in the dark. In a state of being impoverished, harvested, and left here with lack, sort of wrapped up and bound here. The Divine Feminines. So we've got a true Divine Masculine here in leadership, and he's undoing that. In the subconscious, Three of Pentacles. So there's a collaboration with the Hierophant. So you have the story that's here, like under the what everybody's distracted by, and then you have the distraction, right? It's pretty incredible. In the recent past, that song, man, I feel like a woman, feeling like a, it's like the Divine Feminine is being recognized. There had been a lot of deceitful storytelling regarding them to the ancestors, so that these entities could keep them here, stuck, wrapped up, bound in a state of impoverished living. So in the recent past, though, you've got your Six of Swords, so there is a departure. Moving on. There's some form of a release for these divine feminines. You got a lot of folks out there on the hunt, but it's too late. The judgments has already been called. The decisions have already been made. So you're making a transition. You've made a journey. Perhaps you've slipped through some various timelines. Some malicious sounding entity, masculine entity, had suggested that they were going through the Emerald Gate. Intentions and expectations. Eight of Swords in the reverse. Freedom, release, empowerment. Confidence and clarity. I mentioned on a video that I ran the other day that I heard somebody talking to these Bellas of the previous chapter. You lost her? Yeah, they lost her. All of them. All of them that had been trapped here, that had been kept in a state of impoverished living, that had been bound, struggling. In the near future, King of Cups. Wise and loving, supportive. The love of divine masculine is here, overriding this binding. The other day they said, problem solved. And there's something about an aeon or eon, A-E-O-N. It's like a never-ending, like timeless, like whatever has occurred, it's not going to end. Like there's not going to be 1,000 years and then this devil energy that feasts on children can come back and try again. This is an endless, like an infinity, like separation. It appears is happening. They'll never feed on the divine feminine again, or the divine masculine. They won't ever bind the divine feminine and then slip into the divine masculine's life and just use it. There is in the Emperor's hand, he's got tools, so he's a creator, divinely connected. Keeper of the light. Of life. The lens that's being looked through is we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Reliability, dedication, responsible and persevering. Dedicated to the truth, willing to invest. In the environment, strength, courage, inner strength. It's a gentle power, but it is power. You could be a feline like a zodiac, or maybe you carry cat energy. Maybe you work with Lyra or the Lyrans. Maybe you are one. Noble, infinitely, grace. Nobody would think that you were this infinitely strong. They just simply wouldn't recognize your the command that you have over your own intention of enduring. There's no thought of anything but enduring. You don't entertain it. Two of Cups, so hopes and fears. Two of Cups, partnership, love, and connection. Harmonious and mutually attracted. A commitment. Somebody may see you as a strong potential partner to build something with. Outgoing energy. The moon. The moon. Somebody might be afraid. Somebody might try to be deceiving. There's something unseen. Something might be hidden here. Some kind of a deception. This is usually when they do it. Right before you enter the gate, they do something to sabotage. They have been relying heavily on these medicines as like, they're using them as bridges and connectors. They're using them as like hotspots or something. So the human that has this medicine in their body are being connected to like a hotspot, like a Wi-Fi hotspot, and they're driving their Wi-Fi programming or radio shows or whatever into the super sensitive, delicate transmitter receiver communication device of the divine, of source. And they've been hijacking this space here and then trying to cast the illusion that you're unstable. It's their programming that it's like they do on your smart television. They stream it. They can do it all day for hours. Queen of Swords is here, speaking the truth, and it's bringing about a transformation to stuff. Whatever the Queen of Swords is talking about is bringing endings. Somebody's afraid. Somebody's afraid here because what the Queen of Swords is saying, she's speaking the truth. Somebody's in fear because the Queen of Swords is speaking the truth about what? About sacrifice, about how people have been keeping balance here, about how they've been feeding on the souls of the living in order to maintain temperance. They've been harvesting high value temperance angels in order to use their energy to balance things out. That's what they've been doing. They've been using the temperance soul, the alchemist, the eternal life or whatever that you have connected to your womb and your spine and whatever else that it is that it's connected to in those upper spaces, right, of your higher self. So somebody's afraid because the Queen of Swords is talking about whatever she's talking about is the truth, is bringing about big transformations and new beginnings, rebirth, liberation. So once everybody learns the truth, then there is a great evolution, a jump, like a surge forward. It's like, whoa, once everything becomes clear, it's like all these little doors and all these little locks will come undone and clarity will be had about the illusion that they have been doing over the mental bodies of the divine feminines. So somebody, somebody's in a tower, and that is the law of cause and effect. The wheel is turning. So justice is here. Whoever had been making your life constantly fall apart is falling apart. And the wheel is turning on this. The star, because the star was able to persevere through the challenge. You were able, and I heard something. the other day. It's like separation. Sometimes in one of the reads that popped up, you had to separate in order to survive. So you've got your 3D flesh temple, right? And it's got it's hooked up with your spirit self, your dream self, and your soul self, right? The light, the SOL, the sun in you, the life of you, the vital force. And then that's connected to your upper dimensional soprano, angelic, self. It's like some stuff was going on in the upper dimensional space, and it's like you fell to tell. There's a whole lot of angels who I guess must have offered service to go investigate and find out what's been going on, because these upper dimensional spaces were being hijacked. Divine beings were being replaced. So there had to be an investigation or something. And it's like not everybody made it through. But I think that because the goddesses of time and all this stuff has been discovered, I do believe that, Mother Father can perhaps retrieve and heal those of our relatives who have fallen on other timelines. But I don't know how that all works out. But I do know that the guardian that I am connected to has continuously talked about claiming it all. This is the end of them feeding on us as though we are batteries. You're going, this is an Ace of Cups, so there's new beginnings, and you've got a Chariot here. You're determined. You're controlled of your own emotional self, your own willpower. You've got a very strong and powerful willpower. They can't drive you like they once did or like they do others. So there's a victory here and a renewal for love. We got a whole lot of people out there that are mad and they want to do some 3D violent things, but that's typical of the mentality that we have been dealing with here for centuries. There's always death, there's always war, and that's because these entities that harvest happiness and such, they like to break happiness and then cause suffering, and then they harvest it. And the more that people suffer, the happier they are, because that's when people start pleading for help or assistance, and then they can play hero or whatever. Or they can play villain, whatever they want. They play villain, then they play hero, then they play villain. It's just a game. So we got the Six of Pentacles here, generosity and charity. Balance is being restored for those who have undergone some hardship and struggle with poverty. The Emperor is here, bringing stability regarding this foundation, it appears to me. Those who had been abandoned, those who had been left to struggle and carry the burden of those who had abandoned you. Somebody's confused as hell. So somebody's confused as hell over what this Emperor is doing. He's doling out the reward, the charity, for those who had been purposefully kept in poverty. There's some kind of emotional chaos going on. Maybe he's stabilizing the emotional chaos. He's stabilizing the confusion. I know that I have been experiencing some stabilization within the mental body. It's been very challenging, but when that's the investigation, right? You endure, and then whatever the energy and the attack and the atrocious, heinous things that people do to our consciousness sometimes is measured and looked at and then traced and evaluated, and then I guess judged and dealt with. Queen Mother spoke up last night, had me laughing out loud so bad. She's so awesome. Off with the heads. She's like the queen of hearts. Oh, she really tried to save everybody, man. There were so many roses on her dress when she was finally released. She had laid down for the blade so many times, trying to help these people get ahead. She had given her life so many times over the last many centuries. And I'm speaking singular, of course, of the Queen Mother, the Queen of Heaven, who is kicking these Satanists' ass. They were all upset. I had a vision of her. Oh, she was so beautiful, guys. She had her hair a golden brown and in a beautiful, lady bun, and she had this beautiful white shirt on, kind of little ruffles, a short sleeves, puffy with a little bit of a ruffle, tucked into a light denim blue skirt, which was full length, and it was not form-fitting at all. And she had on a belt, and she had a big giant sword in her hand, and she was up like this, and the look on her face, it was not anger, it was not rage, it was nothing other than pure determination, and this is what is going to happen. And it did. She was taking off Santa Claus's head. And then I heard them on Santa Claus's team or whatever, the Queen of Heaven is kicking our ass. Apparently there was like 50 of them, and she was just going after it. And I'm glad I didn't have to see. Her outfit was so beautiful. I don't know what the scene looked like afterward. I hope that none of their internal mess got on her. I hope they were not able to defile her beautiful appearance. Miracle. So there is revelations and clarity, and these women are receiving a miracle. We got some folks out here that are confused as hell because the Emperor is calming down this weird stuff that was happening to these women. They were abandoned and they were left there in this weird timeline or this state of confusion. Almost, not yet, maybe. Friends? Oh, it's complicated. I don't know. Oh, no. Lack? Oh, here's a present. Oh, no, somebody took it. Just whatever. Nothing. No labels. Emotional chaos. You got this guy in the back loving on somebody. She doesn't know where to... Maybe she was supposed to meet with him. Whatever. So there's a miracle for these ladies who had been trapped in this status. And you can see that the mother is bound, fully encased, and the daughter has got she poked her head out. She poked her head out and she was seen. No longer hidden, no longer silent. The Emperor is bringing stability to this chaos and confusion. He's offering charity, pentacles, to those who had been impoverished. It all belonged to them in the first place. They had been siphoned. We've got cooperation and collaboration with the Hierophant in the subconscious. Looking with clear eyes what the snake, about the lies. The truth hurts. The snake lied and left you there all by yourself. Lied on you hard. There's clarity now. So you know what's going on. There's a reality check. The Hierophant and the Emperor knows exactly what's going on with this snake's lies. And the truth hurts. There's a wake-up call. Clear eyes to the lies. Six of Swords, there's a change, some kind of a journey. moving on. You may be traveling through the Emerald Gate. People may be departing to whatever gate they they belong in. Oh. So, yeah, there's a departure. There's a release of those who were wearing masks, the mimickers and the copycats of the apple. There's a release of moving on from those who were manipulative of the apple. These devils, look at her face. This is her real persona. And she had put on a face and pretended that she was a divine daughter, but she wasn't. So there's a departure of those mask wearers pretending to be apples. You're being released of them. They're being released. You are empowered. You've got clarity, freedom from that. You're leaving them behind. You're leaving. You're releasing them. You're moving on. There's some kind of a transition. Reconcile. Oh, you might actually be meeting your person soon. How about that? 8 of Swords in the reverse. So there's freedom and release, empowerment, clarity, and reconciliation. There is an understanding of what has been going on here. So many lies, so many unnecessary traumas. We've got the King of Cups here in the near future. Supportive and loving. Emotionally intelligent, compassionate. This is a no contact zone. Nobody's to touch you. He's enforcing distance. Nobody's allowed near you. Enforced distance. Knight of Pentacles. Persevering. Dedicated. Divine timing. Strength and courage. Grace, which is said to be the name of the Holy Spirit. What they've been doing to the spirit of you, collective, is atrocious. You know, your 3D self is here, and as you're sleeping in your bed, getting ready for work the next day, or resting up, they're in there doing stuff to your dream self, your spirit self, sticking knives in it, doing whatever they do. You wake up in the middle of the night crying, you're mad, you're fighting, you're doing whatever. It's because you're getting attacked in the 4D or whatever by these nasties. I have a friend. Her name's also Lori. They do it to her all the time. They pick on her real bad. Only she's not aware of it. She thinks it's just nightmares. She doesn't really realize what's happening. Even though I tried to talk about it with her, she doesn't know. So hopes and fears. So we've got the strength of the rose. The strength of the rose. The Holy Mother gave up her heart. They stuck a knife in her heart so many times. She laid down so they could stick it in her so many times. She gave up her life so many times trying to serve these people, help them, bring them up out of this darkness. And God said she had been too forgiving, and it's done. He's not allowing her to do that anymore. And he's not going to allow anybody to take anything from her anymore. So there is unity, and there's some kind of a harmonious love connection happening here. She has stated that these women, she's not going to let these nasty jacks obtain you anymore. This is it. You got to guarantee out of here. They're not keeping you in this state of emotional chaos so they can siphon your beautiful essence. See, this person cannot wear the energy of a high value, high potency star or divine being, because it's too powerful. It'll hurt them. So they have to lower its frequency by causing you suffering, and then they can put on the mask and they can pretend that they're walking in the energy, but they can't walk in the potency of what you are. They have to break it down first. But you're coming into a loving union, it looks like. And somebody's hiding their feelings, or maybe you're still hurting. You've undergone a lot of soul trauma, and your 3D self, the soul and all that, it kind of had to be separated out from the spirit because you had to survive. So it's like there had to be a fragmentation, like a pulling apart of the personality or the identity so that it could survive. I needed to keep the purity of the spirit, right? Because that's your inner child. And so, and then the higher self is like the warrior, the one who knows all of this ancient wisdom, right? And they kind of they bound that also, but the curse is broken. So you might be still hurting. Somebody is being silent. They haven't moved on. There's still one of these females, these fake mask-wearing females in the energy of the apple. They're fake calm. These unions are happening, and they're hoping to get one. They're wearing the energy of a rose, but they're not a rose. But it could just be that you're still hurting, and that romance might be an issue. There's a lot of soul trauma from previous incarnations, that the mind may not remember. But in certain circumstances, your whole nervous system may just fire up, like boom, and you might just find yourself, inwardly trembling or something from some soul memory that you're not recognizing. It's like that energy is being released. It's being pulled up and then watched, studied, and then released. We got the moon card. So we've got the unseen or the hidden things are being spoken about by the Queen of Swords. She's bringing clarity to what has been occurring here. And we got death. So there's big transformations, liberation, and new beginnings, endings and new beginnings. Whatever she's talking about that's been hidden here is ending everything. And beginning everything. Alpha Omega. This is the final reset. There's an infinity, an eon of separation here. We will never, ever have this experience again. And the generations to come of the new chapter of humans won't have to deal with that. At least that's the hope. So there's death, a big transformation to these jackwagons that have been using your emotional energy and your sexual energy as a drug. They're addicted to you. That's how they get their fix. So there's endings. What was hidden, and people are afraid because the Queen of Swords knows exactly what went on, and she's talking about it, bringing an ending to these men or these women using other high vibrational people as a drug so that they can then dress up in the energy of an apple, of a divine being, and pretend that they are one. Real eyes see the real lies. The illusion has cracked and you're seeing clearly. You may be looking into the past of this clown, this performer with these roses, these exhibits, these street exhibits, this prostitution ring, whatever you want to call it. You're looking at the history here, the mental scripts. Somebody might be blaming themselves. A performer, somebody who's been camouflaging themselves, they might feel like a clown regarding this street exhibit, the rose, by hurting and then siphoning the strength out of the rose, deceitfully convicting them of crimes that they did not do, covering them in the blame and the shame of their own disgusting ways, their hatred, their violence. They try to put it into the mind of a beautiful, sensitive transmitter receiver, source connected communication device. And they tried to run this script through the mind and then claim that it was you. And they've been deceitfully convicting people of having anger management issues when the script that was running through their mind was not being populated or produced or even manifested by them. It was just a program, a freaking radio show that you didn't have the turn off button for. So you kind of had to live your life, go about your day with all this nastiness in your head and try to hold it together so that you didn't freaking infect the world with it, right? They were hoping you would. We've got broken trust. There is broken trust because everybody left you alone. It was not love. It was control. So the trust has been broken. They always left you single. They left you bound and single. So you don't want anybody touching you. Look, there's a commitment here. You're committed to your soul song. You're committed to protecting your soul song. Somebody's made an oath to you because they can hear your soul song. Somebody twisted the truth about you and caused some weird illusion. The mystery was somebody twisted the truth about you. And again, it wasn't love. The fantasy has crashed. And there's no more. This is the end of the opportunity of these entities having their little kittens, their little kitty cats, their little pleasure tools in the refuge, in the sacred space, the haven of the divine source connected people. Somebody's coming in here to offer a fake apology. They're a monster. They're a freaking monster. There's no real change. It's another attempt to manipulate you to feel guilty so that they can gaslight you again. You're getting a new beginning and they want to take part in it. But the tea is cold now and you're over it. And you're like, just be quiet already. You don't even know who this person is. They're from the past. You don't even know. It's like, stop talking already. No, but it's like centuries have gone by and these people have been playing in the energy and the minds of humanity for a long, long time. It's like, just shut up, man. Everybody's done with these lies. Look, so you're breaking up with them because it's an unhealthy attachment that never offers peace. And they left you on red, so goodbye. They didn't want connection, so that's the end. You've discovered the hidden truth. You've investigated what has been going on with these women. What's going on here? Well, you discovered he's been out here showcasing himself as a proper leader and father figure when his freaking main business in the whole of the realm are the youth and their sexuality and their suffering love energy. They get off on the tears. So there's a charity. Generosity is being shared with those who had been impoverished, those who had been purposefully kept in a state of lack and suffering, bound. So the curse has been broken. The Emperor is here bringing stability to the emotional chaos and the confusion. We have a fellow out there that's trying to play Christ. But, you know, the magic doesn't work like it once did. So it's so wild to me. They're staging chaos so that they can change the laws and then go after, I feel, the truth tellers who are exposing them. We shall see, because a lot of the honest psychics, you know, were protected by the Constitution, the First Amendment. So, you know, people aren't happy about that. Somebody's effed up over you. It could be that that because the Emperor is giving charity to those who were kept impoverished, that somebody is effed up over you. They don't know what to do. Somebody's confused as hell. They don't know what to do. They don't know which way to go. This Emperor is bringing stability. We've got judgment being called. There is a revelation and clarity regarding the women that have been judged deceitfully and then ensnared and held as prisoners of war, as batteries, as energy sources. They're receiving a miracle. They're getting what they want. Their dream is coming true. Somebody is having massive regrets over this, the masculine of the previous chapter. They're like, what have I done? Well, gee, I don't know. I think you just turned yourself into a pimp gigolo, a snake liar. And you thought that it was going to be fun to leave the female, the mother, in this state. Nobody really cares. The Hierophants certainly don't care about this guy having massive regrets. The Hierophant is intertwined in saying, oh, you know, commitment, teamwork. The truth hurts. This snake is undergoing a reality check. You see with clear eyes. The Hierophant sees with clear eyes. The Emperor sees with clear eyes. And whoever this phony baloney is having massive regrets because the women that they have been ensnaring for thousands of years are receiving a miracle. Ghosted. So we've got ghosted. So the snake was lying. They ghosted you. The snake has been ghosting you. The snake abandoned you. They abandoned you. They lied on you. Left you there wondering what's going on. The truth hurts. We can see clearly. Reality check. They abandoned you and they lied bad. They had the whole freaking world lying on these divine feminines. Calling themselves gods and fathers and husbands, guardians, protectors, friends. This is so freaking weird. When they were, this is what they want. This is what they want. They want that. They want that. That's what they've chosen. But they need your energy to turn it, I guess, manageable or whatever. They lied. They abandoned you. So there's a journey For those who manipulated the apple, for the mask wearers, who manipulated the apple, the love child, the beloved child of the Father. Daughter of Eden. You're being released. There is clarity and freedom here. And you are going to be reconciled with your upper dimensional, your true spouse. There's an understanding about what has been going on here. So things are going to be changed. Oh. Your reconciliation and the understanding of what has been going on here is bringing a firestorm. These people are going down and they're mad and they're targeting people that you love, or they're trying to. And it's interesting because while it may hurt, while they're targeting, so what I experienced Saturday was a 4.5-hour drive up and a 4.5-hour drive back, and then I think 5-6 hours present. So it was a long day, and all day long there was a stream of negativity rolling through my mind. I just had to listen to it. I had to pretend that it was traffic passing by. And I had to try not to focus on it because it was vile, you know. And so I just had to sit there and enjoy my time with the people. But, you know, when you got a movie or a radio show playing through your mind that you don't want to hear, but you don't have the knob to turn it off, and you're out there trying to celebrate and share, you know, respect for your elders and for your friends and your chosen family, and you got this kind of crap running through your mind so that these nitwits can try to deceitfully claim that you have anger management problems. Fuck. That's the best they got. I mean, it worked for a long time. So the King of Cups is here, the love of divine masculine. So they've got compassion. There's an understanding here. They love you. And with patience, wisdom is gathered. And this is a no contact zone. It could be that somebody seeking love is a no contact zone. There's an enforced distance. These women shall not be touched. They shall not be molested. They shall not be harvested. They've been trapped here for centuries as these high priestess empresses, this powerful energy that's been they've been consuming it, like 50 or more % of your life. They're just drinking you like a freaking Slurpee or something. No more. God said this is the end of them having relationship with batteries. It's a no contact zone. It's too late. It's too hot, baby. Gotta run for shelter, gotta run for shade. Okay, I don't know why that just came out. We've got the Knight of Pentacles here, persevering, and we got divine timing. Wrong time, right time, wait. What's he doing? He's persevering, he's got divine timing. He's very patient and responsible. Oh, he loves the queen bee. Oh. Divine timing. He thinks you're a boss bitch. Rose. Somebody loves you, Rose. Their love, your courage, your strength, your beauty, your gentleness, your grace, the love in you, your endurance and your compassion after everything you've been through just proves how strong your soul and your spirit is after all of the violence that you have had to alchemize that was run through you over centuries, over lifetimes. You got passionate love, Rose, coming up for you. Somebody who may not be opposed to your thorns. Maybe they like it. Oh, we got a thug here. So with grace, you have endured these sacrifices that the thug had been doing to you. Maybe the rose is passionately in love with the thug, or maybe there's a thug here. We got a partnership, love, connection, but we've got somebody here that could be still hurting. Or there's somebody there connected to this thug that is still trying to gain a rose. Let's see what's going on. We got free. You're free. So you're still hurting. You might be hiding your feelings. Like you know, when I was thinking about that the other day, because I had like 22 years where there were hundreds of these nasty jacks, and they were all talking about their nasty prostitution crap and how they like to torture people and what they had planned for me and all this nasty stuff. And it took me a long time to be able to settle my nervous system and my emotional and mental body in that kind of environment. It was real tough. But when they went quiet, when they finally went silent, it was like all of a sudden I was left with the energy. I had been being distracted by this constant, you know, and that when it disappeared, all I was left with was what they had planted in me, everything that I had had to alchemize and transmute, the trauma of it. And then there was like a major love energy that was kind of inflowing that wasn't this nastiness. So it was kind of like getting hit up one side with this trauma, and then there was an influx of love pouring in. And it was just like my whole insides were like, ooh, you know, you just don't know what to do, you know. When love comes in the silence after decades of trauma, it kind of throws you for a loop. Nervous system kind of spazzes out a little bit sometimes. So it's a new environment that we have to, I guess, I mean, maybe not you, but me anyway, have to kind of sit and then examine the quiet and what is it that's here that I've been processing and alchemizing all this time while being distracted, you know? You're moving on, you're letting go, you're loving you, and you are free. So you're still smiling. You're still hurting, but you're free. Somebody is worried, or you're talking about the deception that had been hidden, the illusions and such. Somebody might be worried because the Queen of Swords is speaking out about it, bringing clarity about this death, this weird thing. It could be that death used the living as a drug, and that sex and relationship and, you know, this kind of intimate encounter, that was how death was gaining their life force. They were harvesting it through sexual activity, this reckless sex. So you got a bunch of animated corpses running around out there, and they're siphoning the love out of these divine feminines, and then they come and they get their fix, and then they go party, 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 and then they start running out of energy, and they got to come back and they got to re-up, right? And so that it's been this sexual harvesting system. This one love, this energetic soup of sexual energy, muddy water. Jezebel. So they were trapping the divine feminines here in the 3D, and they were pimping them out, sacrificing them over, and they were sending Jezebel up to these upper divine spaces, and they were drugging off of the masculine, attaching these devil attachments, and draining them of their life force. We had a bunch of incubuses and succubuses in the upper realms, while the family of these high vibrational divine beings, they were bound, cursed. A daughter came out. She was able to break through and break the curse for many. Yeah, Jezebel. So Jezebel. So these are the hidden truth is that they were that Jezebel was feeding this which one is it? The succubus. Is the succubus the feminine? Yeah, I think the succubus is feminine. So we got succubuses going up, death. These are animated corpses going up and feeding on divine masculine while wearing the mask, the energy of a trapped high value woman, a daughter divine. And they were feeding on them there in this upper dimensional space with this reckless sex, binding their soul, binding their energy, spending the wealth of their ancestors, defiling the purity of their haven, of their sacred space, polluting the power of the offspring, perhaps the soul and the spirit of that being as well. They're not happy. They're getting readings and they're not happy. Or maybe you're doing readings and they're not happy. Because you have a divine romance with a divine masculine coming up. They're having anxiety. They're ashamed. They're under pressure. They need these divine masculines, but divine masculines can see clearly what this is. The karmic ties are going in the funeral. This is the end of the pathway with these people. The mimics, the copycats, they're being set aside, or they're going down a new path or whatever because of this. They're worried. You're saying goodbye. Your family's saying goodbye. Maybe they're saying goodbye to their family. Maybe they're feeling bad. Maybe they're feeling like poo. Maybe they're sick. They're spying on you. You've learned your karmic lesson and you're rejecting them. Their desire to keep you bound is being rejected. This is a no contact zone for Mr. Arrogant, I want it my way. It's too late. The Hierophant, the Emperor, isn't going to let them touch you. You're too valuable. Your presence is necessary in these upper dimensional spaces. Your soul is actually frequency match, and your healing energy and your loving energy, your compassion, your care, your service to the people and to the children and to the men that require care also, your support. You're a divine feminine. And these people, they might be trying to do love spells on you, or they were doing love spells on you to try to cause you heartbreak. They might be trying to do that. There's a jackass. Or maybe a jackass is heartbroken because their love spells aren't working. God's fed up with it. God is fed up with these people doing love spells and messing around in your energy, stealing from you your life force and everything that God gave you to share with the world. They took it all, bound you, wrapped you up, you and your child, but your child came out and said, oh, now, and I don't know who this child is. I don't know if the child is a young child or if the child is an older woman who happens to be from lineage long, long ago. Somebody's all in their feelings. They're unemployed. They have bad credit. I heard this curator or somebody sounding like him the other day saying that they were maxed out. They may have no more credit. They don't have any money because they never worked. They were always sacrificing people and then living life based on the value of a broken person's soul, a harvested person's soul, that they were sweet talking because they wanted to live a life of luxury, but they're a phony trickster and they're going to the police station because they have a toxic lifestyle. You don't. This is bad news for the triangular people who have been feeding on you, because this is the end of the cycle. They won't be feeding on you anymore. They won't be feeding on those with spiritual gifts because of the deception that they were doing with it, these psychos. They don't want to let go. They're obsessed with you. They don't want to let go. They said they were married to you. But there was no marriage. I don't think there was a marriage. They just bumped heads. You might have had a reckless sex adventure like centuries ago. I don't know. Maybe they said they were going to marry you and you bumped heads and then they left you there, bound, cursed. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. They didn't want any strings with somebody who loved themselves. They just wanted to side hustle the energy. So they needed a reckless sexual encounter because they feed on them, and that's how, because that's how this crazy psycho can appear divine. They're running. They're blocked. They're running. Maybe they're trying to run and they're being blocked because their true colors are seen, as well as yours, and your twin flame misses you. Your true colors are finally seen, and that's good. That's very, very good. Those who were, who are your enemies that were pretending to love you while hating you and hurting you and trying to destroy you, they fell into a trap. They're in a trap, an eternal trap, and it's shocking news. They need to drink to cope. Okay. There's legal matters over what they've been doing with these marriages, these contracts. There is criminal paternity for what they have done with the children of these unions. Bad, bad, bad. You're turning your back on them. They turned your back on you. They separated from you in the past, so left you secluded. So now you're turning your back on them. And the spiritual guru that was not a spiritual guru is now going to go round and round and round and learn the same lessons that they felt you should learn. But this clever fella thought that it was an impossible life path. And because he thought that, it probably will be for him. So the secret is that they're not divine. They're not even who they say they are. They're just mirroring somebody that they had sex with in the workplace. Take it as it resonates. Take it as it resonates. I know some people say that it's too many cards, but the cards tell a story, and I'm out for the story. If you don't like the story, there's no reason to leave a comment. Just don't visit my channel. People focus too much on letting the world know how dissatisfied they are with what they see and hear, rather than trying to be kind. Dead weight. So there's a Six of Pentacles, charity and generosity being given to the feminines. There's two feminines on this card, the mothers and the daughters who have been bound and deceitfully judged and kept in a status of poverty and sexual slavery. And I know there are men also, but I'm reading the cards. We got the Emperor, who is in an authority position, bringing stability for this foundation. Somebody is effed up over you. Confused as hell. They're having emotional chaos. They're dead weight. And it ain't cute. So you're letting go. You're being liberated. You're being liberated from these people who kept effing with your mind. You're letting go. You're liberated of that dead weight. They can no longer harvest off of you. You're releasing those dead people, those animated corpses. There's a lot of them out there. They do want to change places. So we got somebody out there that's really serious about starting a civil war and changing the rule book or the laws so that they can arrest people for speaking. At least that's what I was picking up on the other day regarding they want to try to find some kind of a reason to change the laws. And this recent assassination attempt, you mean this this script that was played out, this fraudulent event driven by this mental crap that they're so famous for doing. It's just going to be used as an excuse to try to change some laws and then pin people down and have the reasoning or the opportunity to just come and take people that are speaking about what it is they're doing, spreading the truth. Somebody's having massive regrets for trapping these women and then using them like they did. They're receiving a miracle, devil. Those who sided with the devil, those who made deals with the devil are having massive regrets. Because the divine feminine is receiving a miracle. The emperor and the true love of divine masculine is here. Like, you guys should have just loved them for who they were. You should have taken care of them and nurtured them and allowed them to serve you in a good way rather than torturing them. But whatever. It's over now. They get to go away. They're going through the Emerald Gate. This devil has been, they're having massive regrets. They've been exposed. What they do here with their contracts. There's a warning. There could be some kind of a warning. They're having massive regrets over choosing a pretty package with toxic contents. They didn't feel that you were sexy enough. You know, they like high heels. They like tight skirts. They like those perfect flat bellies. They like big plump breasts. They don't care if you have to get plastic surgery. They don't care if it's phony, if it's not natural. This devil had a vision of what the most highly created woman creature would look like. And, you know, most of society doesn't fit their vision. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And these ones have done their best to try to destroy the bees. So the Three of Pentacles here, arm in arm with the Hierophant, collaborating here. There are blessings. He's bringing inner peace because there is clear eyes, a reality check. The snake lied about these divine feminines, left her alone to suffer, turned her into a ghost, and then detached from her while drawing off of her. They're having anxiety. Somebody's having anxiety. Somebody's getting detached. The snake could be getting attached. They've been leading everybody to make decisions for their life based in fear. They're getting detached. Ghosted. Yeah. Their guidance curriculum was based in fear. They wanted everybody to be afraid, to take a chance. And they hurt a lot of people in a lot of ways who dared to make that leap of faith. So we've got the Six of Swords here. There's a journey, a transition, a departure, or a release of the mask wearer. Those who have been manipulating, the apple, the daughter of Eden, the beloved child of the Most High. Daughter and son, feminine energy. Do what you need to do with the feminine energy, please. I speak in genders, but it could just be energy for you if that's what you need to hear. Okay. So we got unfollow equals self-care. You can't heal while stalking his Instagram. So you've unfollowed some folks. You're free of these people. You're free of these people who have been obsessing over you. You've been taking care of yourself. You don't follow this crowd, this group. You don't even know who this person is. What the heck is this? You're free of it. You got freedom, freedom from the obsession, freedom of the anxiety, of the fear, of the curse. You're free. There's clarity here and understanding. So your union with your upper dimensional spouse there's an understanding here. You're being reconciled, and there's a firestorm of karma happening here. What they had covered you with, the blame and the shame of this perversity, it never belonged to you. These people were targeting children and then manipulating them throughout their adulthood, and then at the end deceitfully convicting them of being that, and it just wasn't true. It was all manipulation. We've got some principalities out there that can puppet, that can step in like Agent Smith and step in and then puppet the mind with these things that they force into the mind, like radio shows. They can literally command the mind to speak. You see some of these videos, many of you may have noticed that there seems to be a puppet master sitting in the crowd, and they're talking and their eyes are always really big, and it's because they got this Neuralink or whatever, and they're connecting with the speaker at the podium, and they're actually telling them what to say. They're operating their mind and their mouth. They actually do it. So we got the King of Cups here. That's why I'm saying some of the things that move through some of these people, or that they're attempting to move through some of the people, it just doesn't belong there. It's a freaking Wi-Fi stream, a Microsoft freaking Wi-Fi stream of content that doesn't belong to you. It's so very challenging. Once you realize that these thoughts aren't being produced by you, and then you start paying attention to the coming and the going of them, then clarity arrives. So there could be a King of Cups enforcing distance for you. Like nobody's allowed to come into your energy. You are reconciled here. The beloved apple, the child of God, is free of this comparison game, reconciled, and there's a whole lot of karma here. King of Cups is enforcing a no contact zone. It's too late for anybody to approach you, to get into your energy, to do anything here. It's like, do not approach. Enforced distance. It's too late. And sometimes it's just Wi-Fi level weak. Not every soul tie is forever. So there's a detachment, an impermanence, and a release. So they're no longer going to be able to force that Wi-Fi crap through your mind anymore. This is a no contact zone. They're not supposed to be messing with you. There's an enforced distance with this Wi-Fi radio show of malarkey that they keep driving into the transmitter receiver, this delicate, sensitive communication device of the divine, here to receive information. But you got people in there driving this other stuff in there, and then filing false paperwork with the ancestors that you're insane, that you're crazy, and it was never that. It was never that. You persevered through these challenges, Knight of Pentacles. You've got divine timing here. You got I love you and Queen Bee. There could be some kind of a union or some kind of a proposal. The fake version of you is getting blocked. There was somebody who commented on my one of my posts the other day that said that the mimics and the copycats were, I can't remember the word, but sort of like they're just contained. They're like, they're not going to be an issue. You're blocking the fake version of you, or the Hierophant is, the Emperor is. You're very strong here with this quiet strength, grace. The grace of the rose. We've got a thug. We got thug. And we've got, they're not getting congratulated. Or you did not sponsor the circus. The rose, you were very, very strong, Rose. And you did not sponsor the circus of this thug. You did not sponsor the thug's circus. The thug doesn't have a choice. You're not sponsoring the circus anymore. You're being removed from this scenario. The Two of Cups love connection is here, but we've got somebody who's still hurting, but they're free. Or somebody is there hiding their feelings. Fake calm. You got a Two of Cups union here. You're moving on. You're free. And then we've got Netflix jail. Girl, your comfort zone is a trap. They are afraid. This is somebody who's been wearing the energy of actual angels and trying to defile their character. They look real sweet, don't they? They look real sweet. Oh, they're so angelic, right? But they defile themselves in order to try to defile somebody else. You're not, this rose is not going to sponsor the circus of this thug and their Netflix queen or whatever. You're free of it. They're hiding their feelings. They're fake calm. This lazy person is freaking out because they're in fear because you're leaving. You're loving you. You're letting go. You're moving on. You're free. And you're speaking about the things that were hidden here. They could be afraid that the Queen of Swords is talking about death, is talking about the death and how these people have been pimping people out, unaliving them, so that they could pimp them out. This Jezebel, this reckless sex with Jezebel. Everybody's been getting pimped. The divine feminine have been trapped here in a 3D flesh suit, while those Jezebels have been shattering the heart during this trauma, this pimp trauma, whatever, heartbreak trauma, their baneful magic, shattering the rainbow of the heart, and then stepping in as a spiritual identity, using you as a bridge and a connector to the upper realm, wear your face, and then go up there and have a union with your person over and over and over again. Every time. Not this time, though. Not this time, though. You are reconciled with your person. Because you are disciplined. Because you have spiritual hygiene. These people may complain about the state of your home. And the thing about it is, this says spiritual hygiene starts with laundry. It all depends on what you think laundry is. Dirty laundry, your closet, your internal closet, your mental body, your house. People are on the 3D space, they want everybody to focus on the material stuff. If your house is a mess, they're like, oh, you're not godlike, or goddess-like, your house is a mess. And it's like they're looking at the wrong house. It's the spiritual house. But maybe Jezebel just needs to start doing laundry. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Oh, here it is. Messy does not mean powerless. Your spiritual house is clean. Your light body, your soul, your temple is clean. That doesn't mean your house of wood doesn't have, doesn't mean your laundry hamper isn't overflowing. Maybe you skipped laundry last week. I don't know. Whatever. But your house is clean. Your energy, your mind, your heart, your love, your sexuality. So, the thing is that God didn't ghost you. He blocked him for you. So you are protected. We've got divine timing and redirection. Because honestly, the real miracle is that you made it out alive and barely. You and your person are coming together. They've made it out barely alive, and God is blocking these other people, redirecting you to your person. This is a no contact zone. They cannot come in between you. There's enforced distance. This queen bee and her divine counterpart are coming together, and there's nothing that they can do about it. Spiritual glow-ups don't come with filters, and there is no more credit, no more spiritual credit for idiots. Some people are, not everyone is a lesson. Some people are just dumb. So you've got these fakers up there that have been wearing the energy of an angel, and they've been acting like a Jezebel, siphoning reckless sex energy out of the divine masculine, laying attachments on him, feeding on his chakra system, reducing the value of his soul while they keep from their animated corpse from rotting. So they're exhausted now, watching everything that they did to you, because now souvenirs from heartbreak don't age well, and we got burn the hoodie, keep the lesson. You're burning it. You're releasing them. Because they did the bare minimum. They gave the bare minimum. They didn't even give themselves the bare minimum. I mean, they were taking from other people while leaving them alone for a long time. This person, he who professes himself to be an accountable fellow, but insisted that love doesn't pay the rent. Okay. They'll be held accountable for choosing this lazy person and spreading their devil fire through the chakra system of other divine beings. Because the universe don't take expat requests. God was talking. God was trying to guide this person. He's like, dots don't mean devotion, and they're not getting you back. They did it sober. They did it sober-minded. They knew exactly how they were hurting you. They knew exactly what they were trying to get from doing it, and they did it happily. And so now they're losing sleep because everything they did to you is going to be done to them. They may become the napper, like I was anyway. There was a long stretch of period of time, 13 years, 12, 13, where I could sleep for like an hour and a half, and then I was up for 3 hours, and then sleep for another hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I'd get up and go to work. And it was like that for a long time. But the glow up, self-love looks good on you. Self-love looks good on you. You did the work. And those who wanted to keep the bar low while keeping you down below their feet are going silent. Them and everybody who supported them are going silent. They're getting a reality check. Your pain was not content. You didn't talk about it. You didn't cry about it. You didn't make it an issue. Yeah, it was going on. Yeah, it was challenging. Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, it was tiring. But it wasn't the focal point of your life, which is good. It's good to determine, what it is that's happening in your life that you find value in. And, that obviously wasn't one of them. You isolated. They isolated you, and then they fed off of you. You've served everybody while you were isolated. You served them. You cared for them. You gave them everything. See them up here, partying and feasting? It was your stuff they were feeding on while you were down here. They didn't let you party with them. They didn't let you join in the festivities. They just drew off of you and made you serve. Yep, and their opportunity for this religious authority or whatever the hell it was that they were doing is fleeting, because so is the sleeping spell, and now you've got boundaries. You've got boundaries, and you are very grounded here in your circle, or you're very grounded, and whatever circle this is being laid to rest. Because of the strength of love, the mask where you've gained knowledge over the mask wearers in the community, how they've been hiding in the past lives. Yeah. So because you survived and you were able to break on through to the other side, they could evaluate every single lifetime that you had, what these people did to bind you, to curse you, to hex you, to stop you. And everything that they did in every lifetime is being, I guess, evaluated, studied, countered, given back. It's not just this lifetime that your soul has undergone severe trauma. It's every lifetime. And I really feel that this kind of stuff is being released. This soul memory is being released. Last night there was some stuff going on, and then all of a sudden I felt like a little bit of fear in the belly, and then it was like gone. So I don't know what happened. It felt to me like it was a release, like it was being kind of like sought after, you know, like on the inside of the soul. Like when you go in and you find where the fear is, where the sadness is, where the trembling is, and you touch it, right? And then you kind of pluck it out or something like that. At least that's what I think it was. Because yesterday I also heard the Queen Mother state that she had measured and evaluated, and that there was something going back to the people who participated in some kind of a ritual, and that it was only going to penetrate the skin of those who had participated in hurting somebody. So there's some stuff happening. We've got generosity here for those divine that had been bound and kept in a purposeful status of lack. We got the Emperor that is bringing or restoring stability to the structure, to the foundation. And we've got the dead weight, the dead, those who have been having reckless sex to draw forth energy and to keep themselves from rotting. They're confused as hell. They're in an emotional chaos, effed up over you in the head. Like all of the magic, the mental magic that they did to you is coming back on them. They were trying to get you institutionalized. They were trying to deceitfully convict you of having anger issues, of having mental instability and all that. But it was just a freaking radio show, moving through everybody, affecting your emotions and the waters of your temple, which would then drive your emotions, right? And make you really upset, probably have heart palpitations and crap. That technology is terrible. The magic, the sorcery is terrible. Oh, and we got between the lines. What's unspoken speaks the loudest. Read with your soul. So you read with your soul. You read with your soul. You're liberating yourself, or you're being liberated. The Emperor is liberating you from the confused soul, dead weight. We got judgment here. In the challenge position, we have a revelation and clarity being discovered around the divine feminine that has been trapped here in this particular situation. Their dreams are coming true. They're getting what they want. And this devil energy here that chose a pretty package with toxic content over the high value soul of these divine feminines is having massive regrets. They're being exposed about their deception. They're being warned. Charm is not character. We've got an unopened letter. A truth you never said is still shaping your story. A truth you never said. is still shaping your story. So what, this devil snake told some lies, left you alone, ghosted you over and over and over again, turned you into a ghost, convinced everybody to make decisions for their life based in fear, based in a fear of pain, a fear of torture. They were programmed to believe that they were a born sinner because these ones were piling all of their nastiness, their death energy onto them. Three of Pentacles. We got a collaboration with the Hierophant here. We got clear eyes regarding the lies of this snake. They were guiding people with fear. They could be having anxiety because they're detached from you. They ghosted you. This dead weight. They wanted to trade places with you. They wanted to drink up the life force of you. And they wanted to download the death energy that they are into you. They've been doing this for centuries. These animated corpses. This black ending. Open ending. But it kind of came out in the reverse, so I'm going to go ahead and take it that way. It says, not everything needs to resolve. Some magic lives in the unknown. And that's true, but I think these people are, they're not going to be doing magic in this space. There's no more magic living in the unknown. The door is not open for these ones that train people to make decisions in fear, that train people how to be afraid. The door isn't opening for them. There's no open ending for them. There's no more magic for them. There's no more energy being drawn off these divine feminines for them. Oh my God. The return. Six of Swords, release and departure for the mean, manipulative people of the apple, the beloved child of the divine. There is freedom from those obsessed, trying to compare themselves to you. And there's a return. What once felt lost is making its way back to you. You have been reborn. You have been reborn. I heard something about a prodigal son a few weeks back. We got shapeshift. You are allowed to change. Your form is not your fate, but it's in the reverse. So you are being reborn. You are there, like shapeshift. You're not a shapeshifter. What once felt lost is making its way back to you, reborn. You didn't change. You didn't shapeshift. You didn't become malice, vengeful. Even though they had covered you or tried to fill your waters and every cell of your temple with their karmic personality and character, it was not your personality and character. It was a program and a layering, and it never belonged to you. You didn't change. You're still the apple. So you're returning. You're reborn. You're free. And reconciled. There's an understanding of what these people did to you. You didn't change. You've always been the same. But it's like they sucked the light and the life out of your soul, your SOL, your solar plexus, your power center, and it dims your lantern. And then it's once they put that death energy on you after they consume your light body, then it's like you are dead, right? You're one of them while they're dressing up in the cloak of your light. So there's an understanding, and it looks like there may be a cure for this. I heard problem solved, and then something about an aeon, an A-O-N, and it's like an eternal, this is an eternal separation There's a cure. Problem solved. Somebody is in a firestorm of karma, drama, mentally breaking down. This is what they put upon you, and it will be going back on them. This madness. They're complaining about it, but they're the ones who have been doing the magic every day for year after year after year after year after year, trying to harvest people. King of Cups says this is a no contact zone. There is enforced distance here, and it's too late. There's a detachment. Sometimes it's just Wi-Fi level weak. Not every soul tie is forever. So whoever it was that was attached to you in the past, they cannot come near you. Excuse me. Between worlds. You are not lost. You are becoming something more. So right now you may be between worlds. You may feel a little separated, fragmented. It's like I mentioned at the beginning, I think, how this flesh and the spirit of the dream self, and then the higher dimensional guide kind of had to split off, or it was split off to survive. So but now it's all seems to be coming back together. And as this happens, it seems to be that some traumas, since you've already done your shadow work, it's like they're trying to trigger it by flowing this radio show through the mind. But, you know, once the radio show stops flowing, the dis-ease disappears, because the mental chatter isn't being processed or developed or created by you. It's just running. It's a terrible interference. Some endings are beginnings in disguise. So we've got between worlds. You are not lost. You are becoming something more. There's a vanishing point coming up. Some endings are beginnings in disguise. There could be like the vanishing, the rapture, the whatever they call that thing, you know, the transfer or whatever. So, Knight of Pentacles, we've got reliable perseverance, divine timing, I love you, Queen Bee. We've got girl, blocking is free. You're blocking the fake version of you. You've got boundaries up. You know you have dignity. You have self-respect. And this fake version of you is getting rejected. They're going backwards. Healing doesn't always look like growth. Sometimes it looks like stillness. So you're blocking the fake version of you, and they're going backwards. Or maybe they went backwards by trying to defile the image of you. They're getting blocked. Because of your strength, because of the strength of the rose, because of the grace and the endurance of the rose. Who did not buy into or sponsor the chaos of this thug. She was brutalized. Please need to do with the genders. I'm speaking singular. There are many. For centuries. She did her very best to serve and to support and to guide people. And the only thing they gave her was pain. Because she wouldn't agree to their game. We've got sacred shadows. Not all darkness is danger. Some of it is death. You went deep. I heard them say you went deeper than they thought. You went deeper than they could. Their most powerful light bearer could not go as deep as you did. You did not sponsor the circus of this thug, and they threw you in deep. Deep, deep, deep. Something about psychedelics. They messed up your mind and then sent you into a psychotic whatever, that you had a deep, 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 deep pit of hell and you had to crawl up out of. You got a Two of Cups union here, unity and romance. Somebody is hiding their feelings or being fake calm regarding your freedom. They are afraid. They are afraid. This says, Eye of the Void. You are not lost in the dark. You are being rewoven. But it came out in the reverse. They can't see. They may be caught in the void. Netflix jail. They're trapped. You're free. You've got this connection. Or they're hoping that they can get a connection here. They're still here in this area. We've got free. They want freedom. They're afraid. They don't want to be in the void. Maybe they are in the void. They're not being rewoven. They're lost in the dark. They're trying to remain calm. It could be that there's spirit or in the spirit realm that they're in a void. I don't know. You're free. You let them go. They're trapped. Somebody's afraid with this moon card of the Queen of Swords telling the truth regarding death, regarding the transformation, regarding the death, the rebirth. This, you're my drug, keeping these women trapped, these high vibrational, high energy, high value women trapped here, and then pimping them out using their sexuality, their womb space as a drug. This Jezebel was getting lifted up in her place, wearing the mask, the identity of an apple. And then they were having reckless sex with high vibrational men up there, and then doing magic, harvesting the energy and doing magic with it to hurt the original angels. They're trapped in a void. They're not being rewoven into the fabric. They're in a trap. They're afraid because you know that they were trapping you here so that they could use the sexual energy as a drug. And that these women were being lifted into the upper dimensional realm, having sex with the high vibrational divine masculines, and essentially devaluing their essence and their soul value. You have discipline, and there's a reset coming, because messy doesn't mean powerless. Now, these people, you've got great spiritual hygiene. It means doing your laundry. You went into your internal closet. You visited all your shadows. You did the work, right? And while your counter or whatever may have something that these other projectionists, these astral travelers try to say, one thing, sometimes you don't brush your teeth before going to bed, apparently. And they think that that's a disqualifying character trait. They're trying to devalue your shadow work and your powerful essence. This devil is trying to convince the higher dimensional masculines that you need to stay here as their sex toy. They're running anger through your mind and rejection through the mind, trying to convince them that these thoughts are yours, but they're not. These are a bunch of deplorable entities trying to masquerade as though they're divine men, proper leaders and guides, and they're simply not. They're just a bunch of gigolo pimps, red rummers, soul harvesters, animated corpses, walking around thinking they're alive, worshiping death and war. Stardust. He was never coming. You waited for someone who only existed in your hopes. Your person is of stardust. So you've been trapped here in this matrix as a prisoner of war. You've been dreaming about your long distance person. You've been waiting for your person. He was never coming. He only existed in your hopes because this jackass was up there masquerading as you while manipulating and harvesting the real apple, the real daughter. You've got your soul map, and no one else can read it, but you've always known the way. You were buried alive. You called it healing. But really, you just went numb. The ghost of you disappeared inside yourself to survive. But yes, you do know the way back. So you disappeared inside of yourself to survive. The soul had to hold on to itself because you had these devils trying to consume it. So you disappeared inside of yourself to survive. What I was talking about earlier. While your spirit, your Holy Spirit, remained in like a state of stagnancy, of eternal youth that just wanted to help people, serve people, love people. There's no malice in your spirit. It's pure innocence. They buried you alive. But they could not read your soul map. All they could do is F with your mind. You've always known the way. You've always known the way. You're the one with the cosmic threads. You're the one that knows about the weaving that ties the invisible together. So you've got the pull, that magnetic draw. It's not random. Something is meant to meet you. Oh, hearts aligned. When your truth and desires align, miracles unfold naturally. So you and your person are coming. It looks like there's some kind of an ending, beginning in disguise. It's like this disappearing or thing. What was that? So you're becoming something more. It's like you disappeared inside yourself, like, you know, and that's where the universe is. So what? You disappeared inside yourself and you went praying outside into the universe that's in your, like, and you had to call forth help or whatever. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. It did not have to be violent to be final. It didn't have to be. Your story is still being painted across the cosmos. You've stopped fighting what used to scare you. You have grown. You have a strange peace. You're the silent bloom. Growth happens in silence before it bursts into life. So for all this time, all these decades or whatever that you've been suffering, you haven't cried out about it. You haven't been whining about it. You probably discovered long, long ago that nobody really cares about your pain. They consider it a competition. It's amazing when you try to talk to somebody about your suffering, how they want to tell you about their suffering and how it was greater or more challenging. So maybe you stopped talking about it. Maybe you just started working with the energy in silence. And now it's bursting into life. And you're entering a door of no return. Some awakenings change everything. You won't be able to go back, and that's the point. You are skybound. You were never meant to stay grounded. So rise into your vision. Your light is left on. Part of you has been waiting in the dark this whole time. You're a quiet flame. A quiet flame. Soft but steady. Your inner fire is reshaping the world. around you. That's amazing. And since we're at 1 hour and 50 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I hope that it clarifies something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody.